Purpose of This Storm. That's the name of the read we're taking off the shelf. And I've got the author, Nadia Nemard Hunt, with me. Good morning. Welcome to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time.
Thank you.
Nadia, one of the first things that I get from this is that you go through storms.
Absolutely. It's a part of life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And accepting it and understanding
Yes.
why it's happening is
Right.
critical.
It is.
All right, so let's walk
Yes.
through this book. What inspired you? You're from inner city here in Jamaica.
Yes.
Tell me about Nadia and what
Okay.
would have brought you to this journey.
So I was born in Jamaica. I started out living in Matches Lane, Rose Lane, Bond Street. I went to St. Annie's Primary School for a brief time and then to Tivoli Gardens. And then I moved to Waterhouse. So I know what it is to be born in inner city, live in inner city. However, during those times, I have had experiences they've helped me to become the person that I am today.
Okay.
Going to school in Tivoli was challenging, and I know most students, even today, going to Tivoli, even the fact that you go to Tivoli, you may be considered as less bright or less academic. However, there were awesome teachers and mentors and coaches there who imparted life to me in conjunction to my church. I'm a woman of faith, and that underpins everything that I am today.
Right. So you moved from Jamaica?
Yes.
To Canada, England, all
Right, yes. So when I left Tivoli, I did very well, thanks to my awesome teachers, awesome parents, and God. And I went to UTech, and I completed a teacher certification at the time. I did my diploma, and at the time there was a program called Joist that I went through, and I went to England on an exchange program just for the summer. And I went for one summer, and it was awesome. I worked some money, come back to Jamaica, could pay for my books and so forth, continued university. The next year I went back, and I got a visa miraculously for 2 years. And so I came back in 2000, got married, and then I migrated to England where I lived, and I taught in inner city schools for 17 years almost.
Wow. So this book, Understanding the Good in a God-Directed Storm.
Yes.
It's interesting because sometimes when the storm them come when I think God direct them, you know.
Right.
Mr. Lord, how the devil texted for me and
Yes.
how the devil I carry me go.
Yes.
What allows you to see it from that perspective, that this storm is God directed?
That's correct. And I'm sure even some of your listeners will be agreeing with you to say, because I had that mindset initially, but if I'm a Christian, I'm a child of God, you know, I'm baptized, I believe, I read the word, I should not be experiencing these difficulties. But until I started studying the scriptures carefully, I realized that even Jesus himself said, you're going to suffer. There are going to be trials. However, our mindsets have to change about how we think about difficulties. It is my upbringing in the ghetto that pushed me to say to myself, the way my mom struggled to send us to school, because we had to go to school.
Right.
I don't want to struggle like that. I don't want my kids to struggle like that. And so I realized that I can use that energy, you know, of growing up not having enough to push me to say, you have to finish school, which is very important. Even though you're a Christian, you need an education. You need to do something. And so after being educated at that level, I have to go to university. I have to be able to be competing with other people to get a good job. And then the earth is the Lord. And I thought, but if I'm here in Jamaica, I can go somewhere else too.
And that's
so,
why you moved.
yes.
All right. So the book, The Purpose of the Storm.
Yes.
It walks us through several chapters, and some of them are thrust into a storm. Why God sends storms?
Yes.
What does God want to do for me in this storm?
Yes.
Persevering through the storm, praying through the storm, waiting in the storm. Waiting hard, doing Nadia, because after you pray and you look,
Yes.
that's a lot of when this a problem, you're going to come off of me now.
Yes.
When will it end? It's important to wait.
Absolutely. So if I just talk briefly about being thrust into the storm, when
Yeah.
I was almost 14, I was taken against my will. I was kidnapped, right here in Jamaica. But God had a greater plan. And so I encourage people to get my book to read the details because we don't have the time for it this morning.
Right.
But I was taken against my will. I thought I was going to be killed, abused. Not a finger was laid on me. I left that space that I was taken freely without any hurt coming to me. And I give all of that to God. And that was one example that clearly tells me that when there's purpose in you, when God has a plan for you, there are going to be difficulties, but he's able to take you out of it. Even him literally coming in that room and snatching me out of the hands of those gunmen that had taken me. And another storm that I know is a painful storm, infertility. You know, from a very young age, I had major problems with having an irregular cycle or irregular period. And I didn't like PE. And sometimes my teachers thought I was just making it up and I don't want to go outside and play. But that's a very painful storm for a lot of women. And so for me, the doctors told me from an early age that most likely you would never have children. And so, but I didn't believe it because when I read the word of God, the Bible tells me that death and life is in the power of the tongue. Yeah. And I declare, I love teaching. I love children. I've been teaching since I was 20. This will be my 19th year of teaching. Wow. And so I decided that, no, I'm going to have children. And so, of course, you see the best medical advice. I went to England. I saw all these experts, and they told me that you wouldn't. But today, I have 4 amazing children who are waiting for me in Canada this evening. And so that was a very painful experience. And I know when you're going through that, it's hard to wait. Because I was saying to God, but God, if you love me, why do I have to wait so long? And so, in short, my first child, when we conceived, that was a huge miracle. Even the doctor said that was a blip, but we know it was God. I lost that first child. And so that is a part of my story as well.
Yeah. So you think you've gone through the storm.
Yes.
And then you realize the storm really does take a turn.
Yes.
And you're still in it.
Still in it,
so,
yes.
So it, we have to go, but the book details a lot of the personal journeys that you have had, that a lot of people have themselves.
Yes.
Or they can resonate with it. And it shows you how you were able to overcome the storms. It's a great read.
Yes.
And we all go through storms.
Absolutely.
And this is one of the ways that we can understand it a little bit better. It's awesome. Where do we get the book,
So
Nadia?
you can get the book on Amazon. In almost every country you can think of. So you can get it delivered here in Jamaica. You can get it at Sangster's Bookstore, Bookophilia, Kingston Bookshop. Or you can contact me on Facebook at Hunt the Author and Speaker.
Awesome. Author of The Purpose of This Storm, Nadia Nemad Hunt. Please go out and get it. It's inspirational.
Thank you.
That's off the shelf.